Hi, my name is Chris Frates. I graduated in 2002 with a journalism degree. I would say I became interested in entrepreneurship when I jumped from newspapers to Politico, which at the time was a hot new Washington startup covering inside the Beltway news. And it was a pirate ship where 30 journalists were taking on big established brands like the Washington Post. And I started to create products that it really resonated with readers. And we found that you could both inform and also create products that advertisers wanted to get around. So I really had my entrepreneurship sparked when I started working for Politico here in Washington. For me, the catalyst that led to founding Storyline was my love for storytelling. I was a journalist for 20 years, and during that time, I saw a couple of different holes in the market when it came to public relations and government affairs. We would often get pitches from people, and they'd say, Frates, you need to put this on TV. You need to write this. It affects 5 million people. You'd say, great, who's one person I could talk to? And they didn't have that person. Also, one of the other things I saw was it was getting harder and harder to land stories in earned media. So we would get pitches all the time. One of the privileges of being an on-air correspondent at a place like CNN is you get some of the best pitches in the country. And we weren't able to get those on air anymore because there was just so much other news happening. And I took those two things, those two skills that I had, being able to find people to tell stories and also be able to work with brands to do that on their own. We were able to then create a company that helped brands, nonprofits, trade associations, and others figure out who can best tell their story and then go produce that story and distribute it themselves. And I saw that and thought, this could be a business, and it has been, and I've been very lucky for these last 5 years. At its heart, Storyline is a storytelling company. We're a strategic communications firm that helps companies, trade associations, nonprofits, and other organizations tell their stories through both owned and earned media. So what do I mean by that? Well, we create video and digital content that organizations can use themselves, often through things like online advertising, email marketing, and their social channels. That's called owned content. But we also help organizations think through how to navigate the earned media space, which is essentially talking to journalists. We help clients pitch stories to reporters. We train executives how to be interviewed, how to answer interview questions on television, or how to do a print interview. And how do you navigate a PR crisis when things start to happen? What's going to happen? How do you navigate it? And how do you respond? And so we're a firm of veteran journalists and communicators who know how to get their clients' stories heard. There are a lot of things I wish I knew before I started Storyline. One of the things about founding a company is that you find yourself learning something new every day. And sometimes those mistakes are expensive. But I will tell you, one of the things I really wished I had known was how much of a emotional roller coaster founding your own company is. The highs are very high and the lows are a total bummer, and they correspond with each other. And when you're in one of those lows, when things are tough, it's sometimes hard to see how you could hit another high. But if you keep working, if you work through it, you will find that high again. But you have to start to learn to love the ride, because if you don't love the roller coaster, you probably aren't fit for this kind of life. The University of Maryland, and in particular, the Merrill College of Journalism, has played a huge role in my becoming an entrepreneur, because the foundational pieces that I learned at the J School, I still use every day. We're talking about things like framing an issue and a problem solving, how to write, think persuasively, clearly, and to communicate in a way that moves your audience. Those are all things that are incredibly important when you're an entrepreneur. And I learned those things at Maryland. And being able to take those foundational skills of journalism and now apply them in a way that allows me to create value for our clients and to build a business is not a place where I thought I would be when I graduated, but man, I am thankful to have those skills.